How's it going, everybody? My name is Snazzy Patty, and today we are checking a video by Serious History. This video is called Top 10 Worst Years in Human History. Now, as always, the link to the original video will be down in the description below. Man, I feel like, personally, people romanticize history way too much, and I'm hoping this video calls it out. So without further ado, man, let's just lock in and get right into this.
Humans have been around for roughly 200,000 years, and honestly, most of that time was spent dying in pools of our own diarrhea. So when you think of the
Well, that's
worst years
fucking
in human
gross.
history, it's basically all of them. But that would be a boring video. So let's be prisoners of the moment and allow recency bias to cloud our analysis as we rank the top 10 worst years to be alive in human history. Number 10, 1918. This year kicks
Isn't this is World War I, right? Or at least, no, yeah, this is World War
off
I,
with
I'm
a
pretty
little
sure.
something called the Spanish flu.
Or
Surprisingly,
that. Fuck. Why do I feel really stupid for not knowing this? It wasn't it 1890. It was the 1890s to the 1900s, and the 1910s was the Spanish flu. Or no, the World War I went into that, and then there was also Spanish flu during the 1910s. Then the Roaring Twenties, then the Great Depression, then whatever. Ignore me.
this flu wasn't actually from Spain, but it was still no bueno. Exact numbers for the death toll are kind of hard to pin down, but estimates range from 20 to 50 million human deaths globally.
Damn.
The Spanish flu was particularly deadly for two reasons. One, it was a brand new strain of the flu, and two, the conditions of the Great War made it so much easier for the disease to spread. Soldiers returning home brought the flu with them, infecting people in remote areas who had no immunity to the virus. What was extra special about the Spanish flu was that it was unusually deadly for young adults compared to other flu viruses of the time, leading to a significantly higher death toll.
Damn. Motherfucker just died instantly.
This disease was terrifying for doctors, not just because of how quickly it spread or how quickly their patients died, but the process of how people died from it. Heliotrope cyanosis was a symptom of the Spanish flu, where a patient's skin would slowly turn purple as their lungs filled with fluid, preventing them from getting enough oxygen into their bloodstream. The blue/purple color would start in their lips and fingers, but eventually spread across their whole body as they neared death.
Yeah, no, at this point, you could just go ahead and do the old practice of bloodletting on me, honestly. I'm good. I want out the server. Ban me from the server as fast as possible, please.
After the patient passed, their entire body would then quickly turn from purple to black. Truly horrific stuff.
Damn.
To make matters worse, 1980
So they changing races? Would that be considered blackface?
was also the final year of World War I, which saw another 5 million global casualties and made most of Europe no fun. Also in this year, you had the Russian Revolution going on, which ended the House of Romanov for good with the assassination of Nicholas II and his family this year. This revolution allowed Vladimir Lenin to take power, where he established a totalitarian dictatorship that oversaw the mass killing of political dissidents. The revolution was marked by brutal civil war and famine, which killed millions more. And finally, the Treaty of Versailles was being drafted, which, while not initially terrible, put Germany in a super bad mood that had some pretty major downstream
Nah, he's trolling at that point. Look at the smirk on his face, bro. He's trolling.
consequences, but more on that later. Number 9, 1492. We all know in 1492, Columbus sailed.
Yo, I'm sorry, but pirates? Fuck that. People really think pirate life was all that. First of all, the things they did, not gonna go into it, pretty disgusting. If you know, you know. But even besides that, man, I'm getting seasick personally. You got scurvy, all the disease, man. There ain't shit to do. It's a hard life. The constant fighting with other pirates and the militaries. It's just that's too much stress, honestly.
The ocean blue. But by doing that, Columbus also opened up a portal to hell for nearly everyone who is currently living in the Americas. Nearly every indigenous person that came in contact with a European settler was either killed by a disease.
Oh damn, yeah, not even, I wasn't even thinking about that. Just the amount of shit that happened just by, Europeans sailing over to the New World and shit. All the disease and everything they brought with them. I mean, it's literally the downfall of the Native Americans and the indigenous people over on the western side of the world anyways.
Killed in the slave trade, killed in war, or died of a broken heart. And while it certainly didn't all happen in one year, the introduction of European settlers to the Americas ended up killing 90% of the indigenous population. Diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza decimated communities that had no immunity to these foreign illnesses. I guess one could argue that the events of 1492 had positive effects on much of humanity, leading to the age of exploration and the eventual globalization of trade and culture that brought us things like pizza and chocolate. However, the near extinction of an entire continent civilization does put it on our list.
Nah, you cannot try to, like, I know he's not justifying it or rationalizing or whatever, but you can't, man. It was a genocide, alright?
Number 8, 2008. This is probably the height of recency bias, but who cares? It sucked. 2008 was the
The recession.
year the entire world realized that rich people just basically make up how much money there is. And for a number of reasons too complicated to go into in this video, something called Lehman Brothers went out of business, and then the entire global economy collapsed. Stock markets around the world crashed. The American auto industry nearly went belly up. and
Yeah,
the cost
that's what I know from it. Like, I really don't know much about the 2008 recession. I was like 3. Anyways, all I know about it is, obviously it happened in 2008. I know obviously the stock market crashed. That was a big thing. And the cars. The cars got shitty. We lost the American V8s and all the muscle cars, and we got stuck with four bangers. And American four bangers sucked at the time. And then we got blessed with the Japanese four bangers. And them bitches fucking zoomed. Alright? That's about all I know.
of food and gas went through the roof. It was the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, causing millions of Americans to lose their jobs and homes. Also, if you've ever wondered why do houses cost so much these days? Well, in the aftermath of the 2008 mortgage crisis, new home construction basically stopped for about 10 years because nobody could get a loan. And since there wasn't a
See, no, I did lie. I do know a little bit about this. That it fucked with the houses. That's about all I know. I don't know how really exactly, but we learning right now.
10-year hiatus on unprotected sex, we now have way too many people and way too few houses. So thanks again 2008 for still ruining all of our lives. What? China and Australia's economy actually grew during the Great Recession? What do you mean America isn't the center of the universe? Number 7,
Damn.
73,000 BC. Okay, so we're a little loosey-goosey on the exact year, but trust me, whenever it
BC. The hell was going on back then, man? Before Christ?
was, it was bad. Rewind Earth's clock 70 or so millennia, and you'll witness what's known as a supervolcano eruption. This particular event is known as the Toba catastrophe, and is probably the thing Indonesia is second most famous for after Komodo dragons.
Am I that dumb? 1, I did not know. I've never heard of this. 2, Komodo dragons come from Indonesia. I know they come from like an island and shit, but I didn't know they came from Indonesia themselves.
This eruption set off a 10-year volcanic winter that nearly eliminated the entire human species. The Toba eruption released so much volcanic ash into the atmosphere that it blocked sunlight, leading to a drastic drop in global temperatures. The few survivors
Nah, you can't just be like, my bad. Nah, you fucking... Not only does this affect humans, this affects everything alive on Earth. What?
harsh conditions, with scarce food and resources, struggling to maintain their communities. The entire human population left on Earth was somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 people, or roughly the
Damn.
size of Brandon, South Dakota. You've never heard of Brandon, South Dakota? Okay, Madison Square Garden can hold around 20,000 people, so the entire population left on Earth after that eruption could fit in MSG twice. This phenomenon is known as a genetic bottleneck, and is also why we're all kind of related.
I was just about to say, man, that's very small number. That, like, yeah.
Number 6,
Damn.
1929.
Wait. So that means we are all products of incest, right? That's fucking... It's crazy. That's kind of fucking gross, man, if you think about it.
The Roaring Twenties came to an abrupt end in 1929 when the US stock market crashed, setting off, stop me if you've heard this before, a global economic collapse. The Great Depression that followed was a decade-long economic disaster that affected almost every country in the world. Mental health was at an all-time low immediately following the market crash. Self-deletion rates were so high that some hotel operators in New York City would ask guests if they needed a room for sleeping or jumping out of. That's real.
That's crazy, like, actually. Jeez. Imagine that. And the fact that they're just so okay with it. Or not okay with it, but, like, it's almost like they there's nothing they can really do about it, you know? Especially because mental health was not a thing.
In the US, 1 in 4 people became unemployed, and wages for the remaining workforce were basically cut in half. Bread lines and soup kitchens became a common sight, and many people lost their homes and savings. One farmer of the day knew he couldn't afford to feed his sheep, so he slit their throats and threw them down a canyon instead of letting them starve. It's like, what? They don't like sheep? The events of 19...
Hey, I was personally shout out to him, man. That's a good that's a good farmer. That's how you know a farmer really cares about his animals. Although throwing them in the canyon, me personally, after I got rid of them, got rid of their life. Give me them, bro. Let me eat. We eating lamb chops tonight. Good. We're eating good tonight, family.
29
Fuck. Break out the red panties, baby. We are eating good.
set off a decade of economic hardship that culminated in Earth's favorite pastime, World War. Number 5, 1601. If you take one thing away from this video, it should be that volcanoes are bad. So bad, in fact, that one volcano in Peru basically turned the lights off for the whole planet. The eruption of Huayna Patina in 1600
I was close.
was one of the largest volcanic events in recorded history, spewing vast amounts of ash into the atmosphere. The summer of 1601 was known as the summer with no sunshine. Sunlight levels dramatically decreased everywhere in the world, causing mass famine, but nowhere more so than Russia. The lack of sunlight led to crop failures and livestock death. A third of the Russian...
Man, volcanoes ain't what you gotta watch out for. It's fucking famines, man. That's what's gonna get you.
Population starving to death in the 2 years following the eruption. No sunshine also meant it was extremely cold. So to keep warm, many in the region turned to killing any animal with fur they could find, not just for food, but also to create clothing and blankets.
Valid. Shit. I'm doing that one thing. I don't know where it comes from. I've seen it in Family Guy and a few other things, but I'm cutting that animal. I'm finding me a big horse if I can. If I'm lucky enough. I'm cutting it up. I'm going right inside of it. Sleeping. That's good. That's warmth right there, man. I don't care. Call it gross. Survival shit right there.
Accounts from the time describe people so desperate for food that they ate grass, their pets, and each other. Which means all of us are just one cloudy summer away.
Wait, whoa. They ate each other. Shit, man, I know it's desperate, but is it that desperate? Damn. Shit. Yo, what part are you eating first of a human body? Honestly, I'm being so serious right now. Let me know. I'll give you time. Word. Honestly, me too.
Cannibalism. Number 4, 1942. Not much to see here, just worldwide violence and genocide resulting in millions of deaths. At the tail end of 1941, Japan made a monumental strategic error and, not so elegantly, insisted that the US become heavily involved in World War II. This essentially turned America into a...
And then we dropped 2 sons on their ass. 2 sons. Not 1. Not... I was about to say not 2, but 3. But we almost dropped 3, believe it or not. That's actually true.
Death factory, where every able-bodied human was either making stuff that killed people or just killing people. The war effort mobilized entire populations, leading to the development of new weapons and technologies, including the Manhattan Project, which would cause all kinds of problems for future humans. Meanwhile, soldiers and civilians in Russia and China were dying by the thousands every day. The brutal fighting on the Eastern Front and the Pacific Theater claimed millions of lives. Nazi Germany continued its war crimes and genocide, so not great. Number 3, 1943.
I guess you could say it was Nazi great. I was trying to do like not so great. I should have just said not so. That would have been better. That was bad.
Remember 1942? Like that, but again. 1943 saw some of the deadliest battles of World War II. The Battle of Stalingrad, one of the bloodiest battles in history, ended in early 1943 with the defeat of the German army.
Yo, that man is way too hyped to have just caught a body. Yo, you see this dude right here? The fuck is he on?
Marked a turning point in the war, but came at a staggering cost of over 2 million casualties. In the Pacific, the Battle of Guadalcanal and the continued island hopping campaign resulted in massive losses on both sides. And Nazi Germany continued doing Nazi Germany things. So again, a horrible time. Number 2, 1347. Welcome to medieval times. You really can't say anything about the mid 1300s that doesn't involve.
Hey, man. If there's not, like, if I have to say there's one time period that gets romanticized way too much, it's medieval times, bro. Yo, it was so, like, first of all, nobody drank water because it was just dirty and no one knew how to cook it, alright? You had entire kingdoms go into war for the dumbest of reasons, and you're most likely going to just get grabbed by the king or the king's guard or whatever the hell the case is. You know, you're a little peasant farmer. It don't matter. You're going in the front lines and you're cannon fodder, okay? Not to mention, the whole chivalry, that was a set of rules established to stop knights from stealing people's daughters and wives and just doing shit to them. You know what I mean? Look at, yo, as it is cool, don't get me wrong. Yes, sword, hatchets, axe, Vikings, knights, dragons. But bro, they don't really show it in the in movies or TV shows and books. They don't. It was so bad. I'm I'm blessed. I don't live then.
The bubonic plague. In 1347,
These.
the Black Death began ravaging most of Eurasia and parts of North Africa. Within a few years, the plague killed roughly a third of Europe, which probably put a pretty big dent into the cappuccino and scarf industries. The plague was caused by a bacterium in the fleas of rats, and rats were basically the podcasts of the 1300s. Completely unwanted, but absolutely everyone had them. Death from the bubonic plague was swift, but painful. An infected person would develop horribly swollen lymph nodes, often accompanied by fever and diarrhea, and would usually be
Jeez.
dead in under a week. Medicine of the time was primitive, to say the least. A popular cure for the plague included taking a healthy chicken, plucking its back and bottom clean, and then strapping it to the patient's open sores.
Hey, yo. Nah, if you don't get this whack ass fucking weird magic out of my face, man. Yo, man, if my doctor pulled up and strapped a chicken, a live chicken, to my crotch, oh, no, I'm having up the switch on the ass. I'm not even gonna lie. That's crazy. Fuck you and your medical bill. I don't want it.
The idea was if the chicken became ill, it was helping to pull out the disease from the patient. Okay, let's check your chicken today. Oh, awesome, it's almost dead. You're doing great. This would be repeated until the patient or the chicken died, often both in many cases. Chickens weren't the only animals.
You know, maybe after the second time it didn't work. Stop trying it. That's the definition of insanity right there.
Rubbed on boils. Plague doctors also tried rubbing cut up pieces of snakes on them as well. See, snakes were considered evil, and so was the plague. So the idea was that if evil things liked other evil.
Hey man, I'm sorry, but we should not be here right now. We as a species should be extinct, bro. How did we make it this far? How have we come this far? Nah, we don't deserve it. Never mind.
Things, putting the snake on a boil would trick the plague into following the snake and leave the patient's body. Another cutting-edge cure for the Black Death was eating crushed emeralds. People who couldn't afford emeralds would drink arsenic or mercury instead, which probably was just a little less effective than the chicken and the snake. All the anguish from this pandemic began to pull society apart at the seams. Many people took the chaos of the situation as an opportunity to steal from the sick and weak. Needless to say, people were so...
Nah, that's diabolical. Hey man, get your bag, I guess, man. Shit.
scared to help one another. Many were left to die alone in misery. It took centuries for Europe and other parts of the world to recover from the mass destruction of the Black Death. Number 1, 536. This is essentially a greatest hits of all the worst moments from human history.
Oh, word,
Things kick off
fire.
with our old friend the supervolcano, which sent a cloud of volcanic ash over the entire northern hemisphere.
Dope.
This left most of the world in virtual darkness for 18 months, brought the global temperature down 30 degrees, and caused, say it with me, widespread famine. Things were extra bad in China, where dust rained to the ground by the handful, and 70 to 80% of the population died. The lack of sunlight led to crop failures, starvation, and social unrest. But wait, there's more! On top of extreme food scarcity, a plague broke out in Europe. People would break out in pus-filled boils before perishing by the thousands, making disposal of the bodies
Oh, nah. Fuck this, bro. At this point, I'm going on a boat. I'm going to I'm finding me a deserted island, If I don't make it there, if I, die at some point, so be it. It's better than this shit.
Possible. Bodies were heaped in piles or thrown into the sea, only to wash back up
Nah,
days later.
you're not dumping me in the water. Nah, that's disrespect. You gonna put respect on my name, bro. Hell no, you at least burying me. Jesus. Dumped in the water?
And the southern hemisphere wasn't spared. To make things worse, 536 had a powerful El Nino that warmed the waters
The
off the South American coast, killing fish stocks, flooding
El Nino, that's a boy. What you mean? What the hell is this?
the coasts, and you guessed it, causing widespread famine.
Oh, told you. What'd I say? What was the lesson of this video, guys? Famines are the famines will get rid of us, man. Famines are the worst. But hey, man, that was actually a pretty cool video. I'm not even gonna lie. I know I yapped a little bit, but I like to have fun in these videos. That's what I'm here for. It's the least I can do. Definitely make sure to go check out the original video, man. Show them some love. The link will be in the description below. But hey, man, don't forget to show me some love too on the channel, man. Put on some post notifications. If you're not subscribed, man, subscribe. Make sure to like the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to react to. Some cool history facts, anything. I'll try to respond. I always try to respond to every comment I get, man. And with all that being said, stay safe, stay snazzy, stay blessed.